At exactly dawn in Montecito, the illusion died, because when the safe cracked open, it wasn't jewelry or passports the agents wanted, it was the laptop that held 7 years of secrets, leverage, and an $8 million demand that could bury a royal forever. They didn't knock politely. They didn't wander through the house. They went straight to the master suite, straight to the wall Harry didn't even know opened. Behind the art, behind the illusion, behind the marriage, that's where it was hiding. A silver MacBook Pro, no Wi-Fi history, no iCloud trace, no casual browsing, a ghost device used for one purpose only, communication that was never meant to be found. And the moment federal agents lifted it from the safe, the House of Sussex stopped being a brand and became a crime scene. This wasn't about taxes. This wasn't about finances. This wasn't about the press. This was about 10,000 emails, all pointing in one direction. Straight to Royal Lodge. Straight to one man. Straight to a name the palace had tried desperately to erase, Prince Andrew. For years, the official story was clean and simple. They barely knew each other. Different circles. Different worlds. No overlap. That story collapsed the moment the FBI cracked the encryption, because the metadata didn't lie. The emails didn't start after the wedding. They didn't start after the engagement. They didn't even start after Harry. They started in 2015, a full year before Meghan ever met the spare, and the subject lines weren't friendly. The inventory, the weekend in Phuket, silence costs more now. And buried deep inside the hard drive was a folder with a name so blunt it felt surgical, the settlement. Inside, draft after draft of a demand that made royal advances look like lunch money. $8 million. Not a loan, not a gift, not charity. Hush money. That's when investigators stopped calling it a scandal and started calling it extortion. Picture the room, the wall safe gaping open, agents cataloging evidence, Harry frozen in the doorway. Because this was the moment he realized something chilling. The uncle he was warned about wasn't the danger, he was the target. And Harry? He wasn't the love story, he was the fallback plan. Because the emails show a pattern, not romance, not coincidence, but strategy. The laptop ties together yachts, intermediaries, foreign trips, and one name that keeps resurfacing like a watermark. Marcus Anderson. Always CZ'd, always structuring, always pushing. Push harder. He's weak, he'll pay. This wasn't chaos, this was a business model. And the most damning proof sits inside a folder labeled Phuket log. Photos, not posed, not staged, surveillance-style images taken aboard a super yacht in Thailand. Images no one was ever meant to see. And the metadata? Taken from Meghan's own iPhone. She wasn't there to party. She wasn't there by accident. She was gathering leverage. Inventory. Receipts. The timeline flips everything. She didn't stumble into royalty. She didn't marry for love and discover secrets later. She found the weakest link first, then used him to climb. And when the world turned on Andrew in November 2019, when that disastrous interview aired and the palace went silent, the laptop shows exactly what happened next. 2 days later, subject line, the price has changed. The email was cold, clinical, predatory. I watched the interview. You look nervous. Imagine how you'll look when I release the video. The settlement is now $8 million. Wire it, or it goes public. This wasn't desperation. This was timing. She saw a man drowning and raised the invoice, and Andrew replied, begging, panicked, cornered. I don't have liquid cash. My accounts are watched. Please, we're family now. Her response? Harry is irrelevant. This is business. Harry stood there as agents scrolled through those words. Irrelevant. That's when the marriage cracked. Not emotionally, but structurally. Because suddenly everything made sense. Why Andrew looked sick at the wedding, why the smiles never reached his eyes, why fear followed him like a shadow. He wasn't ashamed, he was trapped. And the laptop proves he tried to pay, just not directly. Because the money trail leads somewhere bizarre and brilliant. Art. A painting, 3 blue stripes on white canvas, worth maybe $50 on a good day. Sold for $2.4 million. Buyer, a blind trust linked to Andrew. Seller, a Delaware LLC created weeks earlier. Classic art wash. No suitcase of cash. No wire transfer alarms. Just culture. And where did the painting go? Nowhere. It was shipped to Geneva, labeled in transit, never displayed. Because it didn't need to exist. It was a receipt for silence. And when the FBI followed the transaction, they found the commission. 10%. $240,000, straight to Marcus Anderson. The cut, the proof, the scheme. Harry remembered that month, the glow, the gifts, the renovations. The inheritance. It wasn't family money, it was blood money. And when the second installment was demanded, another $3 million, Andrew couldn't pay. Accounts frozen, Queen intervening, the stone dry. That's when the tone changed. Threats replaced patience, emails turned furious, and suddenly, so did Meghan. The tears, the victim narrative, the pressure. Not because the press was cruel, but because the payments stopped. That's when the real pivot began. If Andrew couldn't be milked anymore, then the whole family would be. The moment Andrew's money dried up, the strategy changed. Because this laptop doesn't just expose blackmail, it exposes the pivot. When the extortion hit a wall, a new folder appeared on the hard drive, created quietly, deliberately, months before the world ever heard the word Megxit. Its name was simple: Project Exodus. This is where the story stops being messy and starts being calculated. Inside that folder was not panic, not fear, not desperation. It was a pitch deck. A PowerPoint presentation dated August 2019, while they were still working royals, still shaking hands for the crown, still living at Frogmore Cottage and smiling for cameras. The world thought the exit was emotional. The laptop proves it was commercial. Slide after slide laid out a business plan for monetizing the monarchy's collapse, not reacting to it, not surviving it, but selling it. The title of the deck says everything: Empire II, the Modern Court. This wasn't about escape. This was about replacement. And buried in the slides, under unique selling propositions, were the lines that made investigators stop scrolling. Unfiltered access to the air and the spare private recordings of Palace Protocol's exclusive rights to the breakup. Not if, not maybe. Already packaged. Harry stood behind the agents as they read it. This is when it hit him. The tears at Frogmore, the late-night panic, the whispered fear about safety. None of it was spontaneous. It was pre-written. The emails attached to the pitch deck tell the rest of the story. Dozens of messages between an alias, the Duchess, and a senior executive at a major streaming platform in California. August. September, months before the public announcement. The Andrew money is frozen. We need to accelerate. I can deliver the prince by January. He believes we are leaving for safety. I need a 9-figure commitment before I pull the trigger. The replies were just as cold. Can you guarantee conflict? Will he speak about his mother? Will he attack the brother? And the answer came back without hesitation. I guarantee it. He will say whatever I tell him to say. Harry read that line twice. Then a third time. Because it explained everything. The interviews. The memoir. The accusations that seemed rehearsed. It wasn't his truth. It was content delivery. She didn't want him healed. She needed him terrified. Because fear made him compliant, and compliance closed contracts. And then came the video file, labeled Proof of Concept, Kitchen. Agents clicked play. The footage was grainy, hidden, a private argument. Harry and his brother, raw, unguarded, human. And then her voice, not arguing, narrating. This is the rift, she whispered. This is episode 1. She was filming pain as a demo reel. Selling family trauma like intellectual property. This wasn't betrayal by accident. This was industrialized exploitation. The emails show Sunshine Sachs prepping press narratives before the fallout. Marcus Anderson negotiating percentages. Talking points drafted months in advance. Nothing happened organically. The outrage was scheduled. The tears were scripted. And when Andrew couldn't pay anymore, the monarchy itself became the target. The laptop proves the exit wasn't about protection. It was about solvency. Blackmail one man until he's dry, then blackmail the institution publicly and globally. That's when investigators found the final folder, the one that made the room go silent, the insurance policy, a 14-minute video recorded inside Royal Lodge, audio only, a private conversation involving sovereign funds and foreign interests. Evidence that would have destroyed Andrew and detonated the crown. She kept it for 7 years, not to report, not to protect, but to trade. The plan was brutal in its simplicity. If the marriage collapsed, Andrew paid. If the family resisted, Andrew burned. If the divorce got ugly, Andrew went to prison. Until the FBI took the laptop. That's when leverage died. The agents followed the money next. And what they uncovered was devastating. The hush money didn't sit in savings. It didn't go to charity. It went to PR. Sunshine Sachs. Andrew unknowingly funded the very campaigns that attacked the monarchy, paid for the bullets fired at his own mother. The irony was surgical. And then came the moment that sealed everything. The shipping manifest. Harry's name. His digital signature. Exporting the painting. The agent didn't raise his voice. He didn't accuse. He simply said, under U.S. law, this makes you a co-conspirator unless that signature was forged. The room held its breath. This was the fork. Protect her and go down with her, or tell the truth and detonate the marriage. Harry stared at the empty wall safe, at the wedding photo, at the lie he'd lived inside for 7 years. "I didn't sign it," he said quietly, "and I'll tell the grand jury who did." That was it. The moment the spell broke. Downstairs, she thought she could spin it. She thought she could call allies, turn it into narrative, turn it into content. Then the kitchen doors opened. 4 agents. No titles, no deference. "Please stand up and place your hands behind your back." She laughed. "I'm the Duchess." The reply was ice cold. "You're a U.S. citizen, and you're being detained for extortion, wire fraud, and conspiracy." Diplomatic immunity evaporated. She screamed for Harry. Harry walked in, not angry, empty. "I saw the emails," he said. "I saw the pitch deck. I saw the painting. The gaslight died in her eyes." "You're leaving me?" She whispered. "You didn't do this for us," he replied. "You did it for the LLC." And he walked out. No speech, no forgiveness, just truth. The cuffs clicked. The door closed. No cameras, no glamour. Just the law. By nightfall, the statement came from the palace. 3 sentences. No name, no defense. Silence. And that silence said everything. The House of Sussex didn't fall because of rumors. It fell because the laptop remembered what PR couldn't erase. 10,000 emails, 1 silver MacBook, and proof that you can manipulate people, but you can't outsmart evidence.